know I sound so country, but today I'm going to be showing y'all how I do acrylic toes. And if you stay tuned to the end, I'm going to give you the secret sauce on how to make them look real crispy. So this is my client. I already did my client consultation. She doesn't have anything going on except a little melanonchia in her pinky toes, but that is nothing that's going to stop the service. So let's go ahead and get into it. The first thing I'm going to do is trim and file these toenails, get them nice and short. I like to get them as short as possible. That way the enhancement can last long and don't nobody want no bird talons in their shoes. Now Jess here has some of the smallest feet that I have ever seen on an adult human, and her toes are just so little I could barely hold on to them. So you'll see me struggling a little bit because with these toe separators I got even less toe to hold. So when you see me struggling with that, please mind your business. When doing acrylic toes, well, any service, make sure you ask your client what they want, because some people, they do like their toenails to be extended. Some people do like bird talons in their toes, and that's their business. Some people sell feet pics and they got certain criteria that they gotta meet, so make sure you're asking. Alright, so when it comes to prep on the toes, it's the same way as the nails. So you want to push back your cuticles and remove any cuticle or dead skin that you may have on the nail plate. That way you don't get any lifting. Don't nobody want to walk around with some snaggletooth looking toes because they toe enhancement done popped off because you didn't do what you were supposed to do in the first place. You know what you're supposed to be doing. Don't be out here doing stuff on people if you don't know what you're supposed to be doing. If you don't know what you need to be doing, you need to rewind the video and watch it over and over and over again before you go and mess with somebody's toes and have her mad when she outside with her toes out and her toes looking a mess. Right now I'm going in with my sanding band. I am using a fine grit sanding band. I always use fine because I'm fine, so everything I gotta use is fine, period. You know what I'm talking about. And I'm removing all the shine from the natural nails. Removing the shine is removing the oils from the nail plate. That way that it can be dried out, and when you put your primer on, it is directly on the nail. There is no type of barrier in between, no oil barrier, and that is what's gonna help your nails last. You got to remove the shine, boo. Now I'm just going in with a cuticle ball bit because, as I said before, she didn't have a lot of cuticle, but it's just in the back of my mind. I have to do my routine how I always do my routine. So regardless of the situation, I'm going to go over the cuticle area just to ensure that I didn't miss nothing. Because, you know, the one time you mess up your routine is the one time you're going to get jacked up. And I don't have time for nobody to be contacting my phone talking about their stuff popped up. I'm not a beginner no more. I do not have those issues. So just do what you're supposed to do. Always use a nylon scrub brush to get that residue off because it just takes it all off. The dust isn't getting stuck in the brush, and that's how you know you're getting everything off so that everything is nice and clean and residue dust free. And then I'm gonna go in and start with my dehydrator. I use miasecret dehydrator, but when it run out, I just do half acetone, half alcohol, because that's all it is anyway, and why spend more money? I always dehydrate twice, and I always prime twice, and I'm using miasecret primer. Now let's go ahead and get into this acrylic application. I'm going to take me a medium-sized bead. I'm going to place it on the nail plate. I'm going to go ahead and push it up just a little bit. I'm not going all the way up to the cuticle. I am not trying to accomplish my cuticle placement right now. I'm just trying to get the bead on the nail, get it evened out. And while I'm doing that, the polymerization process is taking place. And this is going to allow me to shape that free edge, because we saw that she was missing a little bit of her toenail because it did crack. I went ahead and cut that off, and then I'm just going to sculpt with the acrylic. It is important to remember that we are sculpting with the acrylic and not painting like it is nail polish. That way I can just move and mold the acrylic to make the perfect square shape, so you can't even tell that it looked like somebody took a bite out of her toe. I am using a size 6 brush so that I could use the same technique that I use on fingers. So if I need to do 3 beads, I can do 3 beads. If you need to just focus on the free edge first, that's fine. Do what you need to do. Then I'm going to go in with another bead and focus on my cuticle area so I can make sure it's not flooded. That's why I like to do 2 beads, so I can focus and I don't have to redo things and try to fix things up. I'd rather just take an extra step. And you don't want your nail to be thick and bulky. You want it to be nice and thin. It's just the overlay. We're not trying to build no thick apex, nothing like that. We want to make sure the nail has structure and it's not flat, but we don't need no huge apex on these toes. You do not want them to be thick. That's where people get the issue of, oh, you can't have acrylic on your toe because it's gonna mess up your toe. Acrylic is not gonna mess up your toe. When you have a nail tech who don't give a damn about you, it's gonna mess up your toe. That's what's gonna happen, because then when you got that big old bulky toe, you hit it on the side of your bed, yes, your toenail cracked, yes, it's bleeding, and yes, it hurt, and yes, it's mad. Get you a nail tech who cares. When we get to these baby toes, it's basically the same thing, but you just want to use a tiny bead. You do not need to pick up acrylic that is the same size as the toenail. You need to go a little bit smaller, because you know acrylic likes to move. It's like the motion in the ocean. You don't need too much. And as I did on the other nail, on the big toenail, if you need more, add more. It's better to just go in and add an extra step than to just be overwhelmed with your acrylic flooding everywhere. All right, now watch me. I'm picking up a bead, and I didn't even put the whole bead down because I picked up too much. And then if you have your ratios right, the acrylic shouldn't be moving. It shouldn't be flooding everywhere. And if you find that you have that issue, just go ahead and bleed the back of the brush onto a paper towel. If y'all need a specific video on that, just comment down below and I got you. And you just want to lightly push it up to the cuticles the same way that you do on hands. I'm telling you, it's the exact same thing. And see, I went in and added a little bit more because I didn't want to be overwhelmed, because I want to extend it a little bit, because her toenails are just so little, so that I have some room when it's time to file and I'm not filing all her natural nail down. And I'm going to go ahead and extend it, and I'm just sculpting the free edge the same way that I did the big toenail. All right, watch me again. I'm going in with some acrylic. Again, I didn't even put down everything that I had because it was too much. I'm not going to overwhelm myself. As I said again, I'd rather go back in later and add some more. I'm going to use the tip of my brush to push it up to the cuticle area. We are not trying to flood the cuticle area. We want it up there close to the cuticle with no gap, so that when we go in and we do our sealing of the cuticle with our e-file, it looks like it's growing straight out of the matrix. We don't want our enhancements to look like an enhancement. We want it to look like it's nice and natural. Once I have the majority of that foundation down, I'm gonna go in and add some more just to make sure. It might have been too thin. I might have wanted to extend it a little bit. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is that you need to do, you go ahead and do it. Do not be skipping out on stuff because in your head you're like, oh, well, everybody else just used one bead. You are not everybody else. Do what you need to do to get to the end result that you want. Period. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. If you can do it in one bead and it come out popping and delightful, girl, go ahead. Clap for you. If you need to do a little bit extra, that's fine. Worry about yourself and do what you need to do to be the best nail tech that you can be. All right, sugar, now that we're done with application, let's go ahead and get into this filing. I always like to go in with the 100, 185. I don't believe in 80, 85s. Okay, I don't know why people be so addicted to them 80, 85, especially on somebody's toe. You gonna cut somebody up. Okay, don't do that. I do not recommend. You want to go ahead and get those side walls together, get that free edge nice and done, and then you want to go underneath the side wall to get it nice and thin and natural looking. Nothing needs to look bulky. Again, my goal is to make it look like these toenails are your toenails and they grew out of your toe. I'm not about to give you no big old bulky blocks on your toes. I'm not going to do that. And then we're going to do the same thing for the baby toes. Go ahead and pop them sides so that we can see exactly what we're working with. We can get that shape nice and crispy. People like their toenails to be nice and crispy. You know, they like the square. The majority of us grow little oval, circular looking toenails, and the girls don't like that. So we want it to be nice and square. Now that I got the majority of my shaping done, I'm going to go in with a fine grit taper barrel bit on my e-file, and I'm going to use this to seal the cuticle and remove any bulkiness that is probably on the side of my nails from filing. Go ahead and smooth those down, make it nice and seamless. And remember, we are going in and sealing the cuticle so that it can be nice and flush. Sometimes we get bulkiness when we do our acrylic application, and that is perfectly fine. As long as you know how to fix your problems, it does not matter. So I'm going to go in, make sure that it's nice and seamless, because when the toenails grow out, we want it to be nice and seamless at the cuticle area so that it doesn't lift and it doesn't look stupid while it grows out. It's just going to look like the color grew out, just like it does with gel polish. With this process, you want to go up the side walls across the cuticle area, and you want to go down the opposite side wall as well. Going up the side walls will make sure that the edges aren't too rigid and it's nice and smooth all the way through. The curvature just goes all the way through. Isn't no rigid edges. The edges are still going to be nice and pointy closer to the free edge, but that doesn't mean they need to be rigid up the side walls. And again, we want our cuticle area to be nice and flush so that it just looks like the color is growing out of your toe. We want it to look as natural as possible. Sometimes when I'm doing my application, I'm squaring off the free edge. Sometimes acrylic gets under the free edge, so make sure you're checking that. You want your finished product to look as amazing as possible. The little details really do matter. Now I'm just taking a buffer, making sure that my end result is nice and smooth so that I have a very flawless base to work on when I'm doing these French tips. If you notice anything you need to fix, girl, again, go in and do it. Just because you already did a step doesn't mean that you can't go back and perfect something that you might have missed out on, okay? get into these French tips, guys. Do not laugh at me. I was struggling with this big toe, but you know, that's just real. When I go on my French tips, I like to go on the sides first so I can make sure that they're even and the same height. And then I just go ahead and do my swoop the way I do my swoop on both sides and meet it in the middle. I try to go close to the free edge so that it's not too high. So if I mess up like I am going to do, I can just add a little bit more. But as you will see in this process, I kept adding more and that French tip got thicker than a snickle. Watch, I was doing it and I was doing it good. And then I was like, oh, fix the middle a little bit. Then I went too high on the side. And then I tried to fix it on the other side. And look at that. That is so crooked. So I went in and tried to fix it. And it was going good. It was going real good. And then I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened right there. I went too far low. And then I'm like, okay, I got to go back in again and fix it. And then look, I went too high right there. The struggles of being a perfectionist. Oh my goodness. And it looked okay right here, but then on the right side, it's not as high, right? Then I'm like, oh, it's a little bit too low in the middle. And then I messed it up again. It's just so thick. This ain't a French tip. This is a French half. It's a mess, but it's okay. That's why I have a TV for my clients so that they are distracted from the mistakes that I be making. Because if there was nothing else going on, she would have been looking at me like, I know this girl ain't messing up my toes like this. I know she ain't. But again, as long as you know how to fix your problems, we got there eventually. But girl, when I tell you this toe had me in a chokehold, she was choking me out. And then I'm going to come in and do the exact same thing for the baby toes. Make sure you are capping the free edge, meaning that little edge part on the edge. You want to put paint on everything. And it's okay if you get some on the toe. We're going to go in and clean that up later. But make sure you are capping the edge because like I told you at the end, I'm going to give you the secret sauce because I'm the boss and I know how to rock, okay? I'm going to show you how to make it look real crispy, okay? So go ahead and cap the edge. I'm telling you to do that for a reason. Like that, right there. I'm capping the edge. The edge, girl, the edge. I think it's just crazy that when I want to record something, I be struggling. Because what the hell? What the hell is that? What is going on? I don't be having issues no other time. But you know what? I'm going to just be real with y'all. Because that is real. That really be happening. Now we're going to go in with our top coat. I am using Cooper top coat because Cooper top coat has the best shine, period. Any other top coat shine like this for the price. It might be somewhere else for people to be shining, but I'm not paying $15 for no top coat. I be damn. I'm not. Cooper top coat is like $7 at my nail supply store. I'm not paying all of that. Right, I'm gonna let the top coat cook a little bit in my $20 lamp from Amazon. I don't know why y'all be paying $300 for some lamps when Amazon got lamps for $20. Y'all are out of your mind. And now I'm gonna get you into the secret sauce, girl. When you take them toes out the lamp, you have to go back in and file it again. I'm telling you, this took my French tip toe, well, acrylic toes in general. It just took the end result to a whole different level. Let me tell you about the levels on a whole different level. Baby, when I posted the toes that I did, when I posted the toes that I did for the first time at the filing again, and that's why I wanted you to cap the free edge so then you can remove all of that. That's how you know you got a nice and crispy, when you remove the leftover polish that you capped, okay? That's why I told you to do that. It's the method to my madness. Baby, when I had posted them toes for the first time, the hoes went crazy. The booking site was blazing, okay? I tell you to do what I do because it does well, and we want the people to pay our bills, right? Okay, so do what I tell you to do. All right, honey, I'm going to come in after I finish this pinky baby toe. I'm going to come in with my nylon scrub brush to scrub the residue away. Baby, look at them toes. Them is some sexy toes. Y'all lucky I don't know how to sell feet pics, because when I tell you I would just sell my clients' toes for supplemental income, I promise, I swear I would. I swear I would. Them toes is suckable. Them toes is worth some money. Them toes is OnlyFans ready. Especially when I come in with the Beautiful Day Cuticle Oil. Go get you some of that. Smell like pineapples, and all my clients love it. Put that on there, baby. Them toes is shining. Them toes is sexy. Them toes is suckable, okay? Do what I tell you to do, and you could be popping like DaemiahMonae too. Do you hear me? All right, y'all. That's the video. I will see y'all in the next one. I love y'all, okay?